Hey guys, it's Déyzya Symoane here, and I just finished doing a twist out on my hair. I like how it turned out. I was actually going to record myself doing it and talking about the topic, but I was like, no, it's too much multitasking. But like I said, today we're going to be talking about the importance of journaling and how to journal as a person who's dealing with bipolar depression, depression, anxiety, all of those things, all of the mental health issues that we tend to have as humans. So I'm going to be sharing some little pieces of journal entries that I have entered into one of my favorite journals that's also the most busted. It is so busted, guys. But it's my most prized possession because I've written 131 pages in it, so it's the best I've ever done. I also have, this is one of my old favorite journals as well. I love journals that just look nice, but my journals tend to be very thorough. Like this journal that I have right here is even more thorough than any other one that I had before. But journaling is very important to me. I learned about journaling. I went through a rites of passage with Déyzya Symoane when I was about 12 years old, and one of her colleagues and her best friends, Efun taught me how to journal and how to properly journal. And in the rites of passage, we had to write in our journal every single day, and that's something I wasn't used to at the time, but I grew accustomed to it and learned so much from it, and I'm so happy I learned and kept those things with me today to be able to do what I do now. Because I write pages and pages and pages of, my feelings and how I'm feeling at certain times, and sometimes the future self, which is my present self, going back and looking at those things can just teach me so much, and it will show you and help you to track your progress, track when you're getting depressed, track whenever you're getting really happy, or as a bipolar person, how long it usually takes you to be manic, and then how long it usually takes, what's the duration between the time that you go manic and then that you fall into depression. Those things are really, really helpful when you're trying to figure out your own patterns, because I just think it helps a lot. I'll get more into that later in the video with my own example. But whenever you're journaling, you always want to write the date, most definitely, because it's not much help to your future self if you don't have the date. So I started this journal, which is one of my favorites. Like I said before, it says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control." And that is from, if you read the Bible, it's from Galatians 5:22 through 23. I also just keep like a bunch of little papers in here, little drawings. That's from when I was living at the hotel. But yeah, in your journals, you want to just act like you're setting the scene for your future self. Like, you're not always going to remember everything that you went through, because our short-term memory is just not always that great, and it's always great to just be able to set the scene. Like, it's morning time, I smell this, I feel this, I see this, or even just, you can just don't be afraid to go into detail for yourself, because that's all it's doing is helping you to release, to let something out, to record yourself, because it's really important to record yourself and your feelings and what you're going through. And also in this journal, I write down my readings. I am a pretty spiritual person. I don't usually say that out loud, but I do readings. I believe in readings. I believe in divination. I believe in numerology. All of those things I bring into my book, and it also helps me to put it down on paper, understand it, write it out. It's just a easy way for me to be able to understand what I'm going through. So for people who are bipolar, it has helped me so much. Like, if you decide to go to a therapist, for instance, if you decide to go to a therapist, nothing wrong with it. I think even people who feel like they're perfectly normal, don't have any type of mental illness, should go to a therapist, because it just helps you to get out like childhood stuff, things that you need to unravel that you don't even realize that you're unraveling because you're just sitting there talking. It's just a really important thing to do for yourself, because it's not always, you don't always want to share with yourself or share with family members and friends, because you don't want them knowing all that information sometimes. But whenever I went to my most recent therapist, she thought that the way that I journaled was just so extraordinary, because I write and I write and I write. Like, no page is just empty in this book. And whenever she would ask me questions, it would be so easy for me to just recollect and go back to exactly what I was feeling at those times. So we were able to talk about it even easier than it would be if I just had to remember on my own. So I could literally just tell her exactly how I was feeling at those times, because I had it all written down. It's no lying there, because on this day I was feeling this way, and on this day I was feeling this way. So it was really easy for me to learn from my experience with my therapist, because I had it all written down, so I got to see the connections even faster than I would having to dig deep in things that you just normally forget about. So, oh, this knee. Oh my gosh. Okay. Like, this whole thing is out. This whole page. I mean, this is like 10 papers. And it's just falling out between page 95 and 122. Hot mess. But, anyways. So, around the time for my own little story time, this is when I'm going to get into my own data of whenever I went like slightly hypomanic, and then right after I fell into depression. So around September 24th, which is around the time that I posted that first video that I'm getting a lot of support on. Oh my god, I forgot to say, I'm so thankful for all the people who have just recently followed me, well, not followed me, subscribed to me, and who have been supporting me and leaving comments and being so supportive. I really, really appreciate you, and I really am so thankful that you are pushing me along on this journey, and you're wanting to see me thrive, and you see light in me, and I'm so happy. so happy, girl, get it together. So happy that you guys are having faith in me and just wanting to see me through, and also supporting me and wanting to create a book and write a book. So all of these like journal entries are going to help with that, because it'll be really hard for me to just go off my own memory of a lot of the things that I went through. So that's another reason why journals come in handy, because you can write a whole book based off of your journal entries. And sometimes, it'll give you inspiration on a lot of things. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm really thankful though, guys. I'm really so thankful. I hit over 100 subscribers, which to some people I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is a big deal to me, because 100 subscribers, I'm really thankful. I'm gonna be getting to 200 soon, so I'm really happy and I'm so thankful. But yeah, so around September 24th, I started to, I will admit, I stopped taking my medicine for a little bit, because something that bipolar people tend to do is they start to see themselves getting better, and then they're like, oh, maybe I don't need to take as much medicine, or I don't need to take it at all right now. And that's not always the best idea. So, because I went slightly hypomanic. It wasn't anything scary, like I had to go to the hospital again and go to the psych ward and all of that. But I did get really happy and really inspired. And I know those things don't sound bad. Which it was a good experience for me. But the only bad part was that I ended up falling into depression right after. So that's not fun. It's not fun at all. So... and that happens whenever I stop taking my medicine and then I just start taking it all of a sudden, really out of nowhere. So I stopped taking my medicine. I started to feel hypomanic. I was writing in my journal that, first of all, I was having more dreams. My dreams were becoming more vivid. I had one of the best dreams that I could ever remember. And at that time, I wasn't dreaming that much. I would dream and I would not remember. But this dream was so vivid, I ended up creating a piece behind it. I wrote it in my journal. That's another thing that journals are great for, is dreams. Dreams will help you dissect them even more and help you to like really recollect what happened in the dream. I'm actually going to read you the dream. I had a dream right after I fell back to sleep. In the dream, I was with my siblings and we were going up this Narnia-like stairway up to this upside down dimension, and I was so confused. So I called Bubba back, which Bubba went into this upside down dimension, and to me it was scary because it was upside down. But sometimes things that are upside down are just foreign to us, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's something to be scared of. And so that's something I learned over time after thinking about this dream. So I called Bubba back down, and we started to go back down, and I started to see exotic insects like this beautiful caterpillar. It was like blue, and it was just so beautiful. And then when we made it back down, I was standing there and I saw 4 black butterflies and with yellow spots, and they were synchronized and flying all around me. It gave me chills, just like the other day when the yellow butterfly was flying around me when I was praying. And yeah, like it was, I remember that. There was this, I went for a walk around my old neighborhood, and there was this yellow butterfly that just kept flying around me, and I just felt God's presence. Like it gave me chills, and the way those butterflies were flying around me in the dream was the exact same way. And the fact that it was 4 of them, and 4 is also a divine number. It's like having faith in the unknown because you don't know. It also correlates with a Yoruba deity, and that deity is all about not knowing what's under the deep waters. Like, you don't know if it's treasure, you don't know if it's literal something scary. I don't want to scare y'all off by saying death, but like, you know, scary stuff under there. So it's really unpredictable, but it's about having faith in yourself and seeing what you're supposed to see with the number 4. So that's what I mean when I'm into numerology. I can go on and on, but but yeah, that dream, I ended up, like I said, creating an art piece behind it. It was a great, like, it inspired me a lot, and that inspired me to keep on creating art at the time. Hello. And then I had another dream right after that led from the other dream. But it wasn't like that. It's not needed to be talked about as much. But it was a great dream at the same time. But, and then right after that, I noted, like, the day after, that I ended up seeing a huge black butterfly when I went to this field to go do a reading, in the middle of the field. And I had never seen black butterflies until I had that dream, and it was just, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And here it says, I went to the park, and on the way there was an orange butterfly again, and I decided to follow it and let it choose my spot in the field. When we got to a nice spot, I saw a dragonfly and got excited. Then I looked for the orange butterfly, ended up seeing a huge black butterfly. I laughed and sat my ass down because it was obviously the spot. So little stuff like that was happening, which is not totally just crazy for me, because that's kind of stuff happens to me now. Like I love seeing butterflies, I love seeing dragonflies, I love seeing ladybugs. Those are all really great omens for me, and they follow me sometimes. So, and I follow them. So it's just like, that's not something that's just wild for me. It may be wild to some people because they don't look at spiritual omens the same way I do, which is perfectly fine. I like to be connected with Earth, and I like to be connected with the creatures on Earth. So it's just one of those things. I know it sounds crazy to some people, but they don't to me. So some people will understand and some people won't. But yeah, and then after that, it was September 29th, and I started to feel back down. I was hanging with a friend, and I just started to I don't know, like, it was just weight on me. And I think that's around the time I started to take my medicine again, after like having a week of not taking it. And I started to feel, I literally said, I feel myself shifting into being down again, which is not what I wanted. So I plan on reading and educating myself for the rest of the day. Soon after that, I ended up having another dream, which was, I had this dream where it was a classmate of mine from high school, and they were brushing through my curly hair. And if you know, like, my type of hair, you don't just go brushing through that. So I was really upset, but I wasn't speaking up for myself. And if you remember from my first video on bipolar and depression, I was talking about how it was really, I would be really depressed because I wasn't able to show up for myself the way I needed to in those situations like that. And yeah, so I wrote in my journals, like, Déyzya, you have to stop letting people run over you. And that's around the time where I really just stopped letting people run over me, and started to just show up for myself. Like, if I wasn't able to show up for myself, I will just leave. If someone's not treating me the way that I deserve to be treated, which I know the way I deserve to be treated, I will leave. Happily, we'll say peace and goodbye, until you understand that you should not treat someone who always treats you with respect and love. You don't treat people. You don't take people's kindness for weakness. That's like one of the nastiest things that you could ever do, is take someone's kindness for weakness. I always see kind people. I have this shirt that I love to wear that says, kind people are my kind of people. Because why would you ever try to run over a kind person? That just tells you that you're a really crappy person. So anyways, I also write down my manifestations in my journals, which is really important because you do not know the power of writing down what you want. It is so important because you're taking that time, you're taking the space, you're taking some time for you to write down exactly what you want and think about what you want from God, what you want from the universe, what you want from the people around you, what do you want to see, what do you want to manifest. And so a lot of the things that I wrote down at this time have happened, which are like, I will manifest my own space that will inspire me and hold space for me to evolve and exert love, and that is the space I'm in now. And I will manifest new money opportunities. Yeah, like about 5 months after that. No, 4 months. 4 months. October, November, December. Yeah, about 4 months. I ended up getting 2 new jobs after taking the initiative and going look for a job. I went around walking in the new neighborhood that I lived in before we even moved in our house, and I ended up landing 2 jobs. I landed one called Painting with a Twist, and I was just, that one blew my mind. Having that come to fruition, I didn't even know that there was a Painting with a Twist in my town, in my city. I mean, it's more like a town to me, but there was a painting with a twist, and I was walking down, like, you know, those little mini market type places where they have like more than one store, and I saw paintings in the glass window, and I was like, you know, let me just walk in here and see what it's about. And I walked in, and I was like, it was a whole class going on too, and it was like, this is a painting with a twist. And I said that out loud because I was just in disbelief. I was like, what? This is crazy. And if you don't know, I paint and I'm an artist. And so I was just like, God? I talked to the owner, and she was saying that she wasn't even hiring right then. And then by the end of our conversation, she loved me and she gave me the job. And I ended up, that same week, on that Friday, I taught my first class by myself. Girl, when I tell you, God is amazing. And then I think a week after that, I got a call from the gymnastics center that I wanted to work at. I wanted to be the front desk lady because I don't qualify to be a coach. Not really, anyway. And so I ended up getting a call back from her, and she wanted to have an interview. And I went on the interview, and I ended up getting the job on that Sunday after the interview. So I had my first class that I was teaching on that Friday, and then I also had an interview right before my class. And on that Sunday, I found out I got the job, and I love that job. That's one of my two best jobs are the ones that I have had right now, and I'm so thankful. And yeah, and like little things like that, you can just update yourself, like your future self, on the things that happen. Like, I asked for these things then, and I got them this day, and I'm so thankful, God. And it's also one of the other things that I learned from journaling is it's great to have a manifest or gratitude journal. I got this one at Half Price Books. It's one that you can just carry in your purse, and you can write down like random things that you're grateful for, like if you landed a sale, or if you found the perfect thing that you were looking for, or someone gave you some extra money, you know, all those little things. Like this entry here, I say, God, I am so thankful that you chose me for this life. I am grateful for my family, my significant other, my new jobs, and the opportunities that you have in store for me. I pray that you continue to guide me and my loved ones to a life of fulfillment in every aspect of our lives. I pray that I bring peace and embody love within and everywhere I go. I have so much faith in you and myself, and you have performed miracles that I will never forget, and I will always be grateful for. I love you. So, you know, it's great to have like a little journal where you're just thanking God and thanking the universe and thanking your angels for guiding you all the time. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I am so thankful that you clicked on my video once again. If you feel the need to share with family and friends who are also going through something similar, like bipolar depression, anxiety, any other mental health issues that you feel that this would help them with, just know and tell them that they are not alone and that they are looked after. And I make videos for people who are going through things that I've went through or going through or are going through. And I really hope that you learned something from this video. I hope that I have shed some light on your day in any way. Hopefully I encourage you to start journaling, because that's one of the best things that you can do for yourself as a person who is dealing with mental health problems. Because when you go to a therapist, like I said, you will be able to just show them literally everything that you're feeling, instead of you having to relive all of those moments, like trying to recollect how you were feeling at those times. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like. If you have any questions or if you have any praise, please comment. And if you like me, then please subscribe. I would love that. I am so thankful for my 123 subscribers. I'm so thankful. yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day full of blessings and full of love and full of light, and also being able to get through the dark times as well. Ashe, amen.